everybody. So we're walking here in Austin, Texas, and just amazing weather. It's just warming up a little bit, but there is still that breeze and it's amazing. But today we're going to talk a little bit of the network effect that happens with Bitcoin in some countries and the potential of cryptocurrencies in general to save lives of people in turbulent countries, okay? So to explain a little bit to you, the network effect in economics explains the more people use a particular service or product, the more value is aggregated to that particular product and service. And that happens, for example, in Venezuela right now with a surge in Bitcoin usage, Ethereum usage, okay? Because think about it, as we may know, the sovereign Bolivar, El Bolivar Soberano, which is the main currency of Venezuela since August 2018, it is super hyperinflated. People cannot possibly live under normal conditions when the currency is debased. I know people from Venezuela that stated that this situation forced the emergence of several black markets. People that are actually selling basic products in the black markets like milk, eggs. It got to this point. But the more people can understand that they can operate their lives in a sustainable manner through the use of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies, the more people will start adopting and creating this network effect. Businesses can start operating their service or products with Bitcoin. Eventually, this may cause a reduction of the Venezuelan government control over people's life, because one of the ways the government can control society is through the currency. But when the currency is not being used, is not being adopted by the public in general or businesses, it loses a lot of control. So in the long term or in the short term, I don't know, cryptocurrencies may become the most predominant channel of value transaction, of value exchange in Venezuela right now. The Venezuelan government also tried to implement its own digital currency, okay? We call the CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, the Petro, a shortened name for Petromoneda, to escape sanctions placed by the US government. This cryptocurrency is backed by commodities like oil and also other minerals, but it hasn't had a good effect, a good successful journey. So another case study is Lebanon. Lebanon has been experiencing a tough financial crisis because a huge chunk of the capital inflow that goes to Lebanon is from the diaspora. The diaspora is made of about 10 million people living outside of Lebanon. But the problem is that the government usually borrows the money from the banks to making, as it should be, investments and to pay its debts or to stabilize the Lebanese currency to the dollar. But as the political elite use this money to put into their pockets or in foreign bank accounts or to reinvest in the public sector, because for those that do not know, politicians represent different groups in society. So they use this money borrowed to invest in their communities in exchange of votes. That's why they stay in power for 3 decades, for example. The problem is that they do not use this money to reinvest into the economy to establish a nice domestic economy. Now, Lebanon mainly depends on tourism, which has suffered with the pandemic, and also with the capital inflow from diaspora. So since the government cannot repay its debt in the first place, and it didn't reinvest to have returns, it eventually defaults, and it cannot repay the money that it borrowed. People in Lebanon, if I was a citizen in Lebanon and I wanted to go to the ATM or I wanted to go to the bank to withdraw fiat currency, physical cash, I would have limited access to withdraw money. That caused a major problem. As the confidence in the financial sector it is eroded, people from the diaspora that lives in the United States or other better or more stable economically speaking countries, and they have the money to send to their families back in Lebanon, do not trust in the system. They know that that money will not make into their families' households, or that money that they deposit in the bank, it's not a good investment. So they are confronted with the situation of a blockade of capital. People that have the resources to send to their families don't have the trust, and people that usually depends on their money coming from the outside cannot live a sustainable life. These are 2 instances that we can use to see and shed the light on how essential the cryptocurrency play a role into people's life. Folks, the more we disseminate these informations on the cruciality of Bitcoin, privacy coins, Ethereum, not only us can benefit from that, but other people in other countries that are being oppressed, that have indeed precarious living conditions. So we need to join forces in this endeavor to popularize even more cryptocurrencies and generate this network effect to attract more people, to make lives better, to be an activist for financial independence and wealth preservation. So thank you so much. Subscribe, like, and we're gonna disseminate more information to you.